I must confess I find it somewhat difficult to preach on the Beatitudes, but here we go. So Luke has 4 Beatitudes, 4 blesseds, in contrast with 4 woes. So the 4 blesseds. I cannot imagine Jesus is saying that those who are in soul-wrenching poverty, or starving to death, or mourning the kidnapping of a daughter who would be sold into sex slavery, or to be cruelly mistreated because of skin color, sex, religious belief, or whatever, are somehow blessed, that they should rejoice and leap for joy. I don't think he's saying that. Those are extreme examples of horrific situations. But I think he is saying that those who have to watch the budget very carefully, even being very frugal, and live somewhat precariously from paycheck to paycheck, those who occasionally have to go hungry, especially if we choose to do so, to fast, those who've lost a loved one to the enemy of death, we've all been there, and those who have known rejection, possibly on social media. These life experiences can teach us, if we allow them, that before God we are all poor. I may have mentioned before, in my 10 years here, on retreat with Dr. Father George Krieger, a Jesuit, he talked about our going to God with a beggar's bowl, because God is everything, infinite, awesome, complete, entire, and we are us. We go to God with a beggar's bowl. All things ultimately come from God. Nothing ultimately is ours. It's all gift. So it's not our money, our possessions, our achievements, our social status, number of friends we have on Facebook, or anything that we may place our trust in that can impress God or win his friendship or guarantee us everlasting life. Okay? So some people never realize this. Others find out only at the end of their lives, when stripped of health and confronted with the impending loss of all they hold dear. They've finally come to realize that before God, they're absolutely poor. Into the world I came naked, says Job. I leave this world naked. They are beggars pleading for his understanding and mercy. And I trust we will learn that truth, if we not already have, sooner than later. Now, confronted with this kind of poverty, the realization, there are 2 options. One, we can rebel in anger because we don't have ultimate happiness on our own terms, what we declare will make us happy. We cannot sing, I did it my way, sorry, Frank Sinatra. I do not like that song. I don't like that song. It's very egotistical, you know. The other option is to turn to God, rejoicing in our dependency. My next breath is because he says yes, and yours too. We are contingent. That means all this is here because God chooses it and wills it in love. Creation doesn't stay up by itself. It has to be sustained by God's loving choice. We're all contingent. And so it's okay to be dependent upon him, to trust in him, who raises up the lowly and fills the hungry with good things. Now, Luke's 4 blesseds are contrasted with 4 woes. There's an expression, not seen it lately, but whoever dies with the most toys wins. Of course, what's not in the phrase is, well, what do you win if you buy with the most toys? Doesn't mention that. Okay. And to now, assuming that someone somehow thinks this is true, or that we find our happiness in the things of the world only, he would say to that person, woe, woe to you, which means calamity and horror, woe. Here's what I think Jesus is saying. If we put all our energy, now I'm going to start using words like they, but that means us too. If we put all our energy in seeking happiness in wealth, and having our needs and wants satisfied, and then some more of that, and searching for one exciting and enjoyable experience after another, and enjoying great popularity, we will in the end be very disappointed. Because those people may appear to be winners from the world's point of view, but in actuality, the worst of losers in God's point of view, the one that matters. They have placed their confidence and hope in realities that can only disappoint. What is worse, they have given wealth or need and want satisfaction or pleasure or popularity, again, that they can refer to us too, over friendship with Jesus. Only in relationship with Jesus can the hungers of our human heart that all this other stuff's trying to fill be met. We're made for God. Some have described it as a chasm in our soul. Only God can fill that. Nothing else can fill that. Only God. I'm going to suggest 3 images of how we can relate to God. 3 images. Picture yourself. Make a picture of yourself in your mind. There you are. A nice picture of yourself, okay? Be kind. And then around that, put all the various things that make up your life and define your life. Work, family, relationships, what you like to do, likes, dislikes, entertainment, vacations, all the financial, everything about your life, everything. All that makes up your life. You're in the middle. One relationship with God, he's out here. He's not in that. He's not in your life. I doubt anyone here is in that situation. Second picture, you're in the middle, all the stuff that defines who you are, relationships, work, etc. Okay? And Jesus is now in that orbit. He's part of your life. He's there. So you reverence him, you pray, okay, come to church. But he's out here with all the other stuff, okay? Better than being over here, outside, but now he's here. The third picture of yourself, picture yourself. Now Jesus is with you. He's the center of your life. And all other aspects of your life are affected by his being the center of your life. Okay. Outside your life, in your life, center of your life. Very, very different. So I think most of us, I trust, are somewhere trying to, with the help of God, get to Jesus, the center of our lives. And that's where we can experience the profound joy of his friendship. Think about it again. The infinite God, Jesus is second person of the Trinity, infinite God, who with the Trinity, the Father, Spirit, creates all that is, becomes one of us. St. Paul takes on the nature of a slave, dies on the cross for our salvation, because he values us. We're worth dying for. He wants eternal friendship with us. Eternal. And for that, he'll pay the price. Now, he loves us profoundly, deeply, perfectly. Don't know about you, but if you love someone, most of us would like a loving response back. Okay, pretty normal. Jesus wants a loving response back. He wants us to sacrifice everything and anyone to have him center. Now, having said that, there's no real competition between, say, a love of husband and wife, parent to child, friend to friend, and loving Jesus the center of your life. If Jesus is the center of your life, my sisters and brothers, married couples, you will be the best spouse possible. You'll be the best parent possible. You'll be the best colleague at work possible. You'll be doing your work in your profession beautifully because Christ is at the center. There's no competition. It's not like, Jesus takes all your love, sucks all your love, and there's nothing else. No. When Jesus is at the center, you are in touch with love itself, the energy of the universe, inexhaustible. You'll be a better person. And therefore, a better husband, father, etc., wife, husband, mother, etc. So we have 2 paths to take. In the end, it's always 2 ways. Okay? We can take the path of doing it my way, which leads to death in the end, or the path of doing it Jesus' way, which leads to life. Those are the choices. Choice is ours. Switching gears a little bit. You may have noticed out there we have had a drilling rig that has taken 6 soil samples. We're doing that because we're just pursuing the possibility of building a parish life center that would be sort of part of, connected with the Resurrection Hall. Many of you may not know, brief history, over there in that field over there, there had been a large school with offices, a large social hall cafeteria for the school, parish center, and a gym, okay? And that was built in 1960. What we have now was the 5th, 7th, and 8th grade wing built in 1965. Okay. You may say, well, where did it go? What happened? If you don't know what happened was, there was a problem with pyrite. Pyrite is fool's gold. It's a mineral that expands when exposed to moisture. So from day one, the 1960 building began to show signs of floors pulling up. Anyway, long story short, in 1999, late February, what the fear was that the building was now beginning to move because of pyrite pushing up and could possibly cause a catastrophic collapse of a wall and injuring or killing children, okay? Well, that was not a very good prospect. So we condemned the building. It's a long other story where the kids had to go for a while. Now we're down to the old Northern East, 95,000 square feet of old, but it's good. Anyway, and so that's where we received our reserve, our large reserve is from the insurance settlement. But as we move along, we're thinking, the parish, so all our activities now are in the old convent, which is we use it an awful lot for all kinds of things, but it is not ADA compliant and some issues there. And the Resurrection Hall is a wonderful, veritable, our social hall is 2 classrooms with a wall missing. That's our social hall, okay. So we're looking, maybe it's time for the parish to help the parish grow and expand into ministries that we may not know we need to have yet, to favor not just children's formation, but adult formation, children's formation, various types of activities, meetings, et cetera, groups that can begin to help us really grow in our faith and reach out to the community and have availability for the community as well to use. That was time to look into this. Now we're just in the exploratory phase. The diocese doesn't even know we're doing it yet, so we have to talk to them. We're just checking it out. So we'll give more information, bulletin, some sketches, website, et cetera. And the committee that's doing this has some members of the Finance Council, Pastoral Council, some staff, and also some very qualified parishioners who work with this stuff, like building things, and ground and storage, water, just all the stuff to worry about. Excuse me, I'm losing my thought here. But all the background necessary to put a structure in, okay, what's necessary to do that. So we have a lot of competent people to help us do that, working with an architect to assist us. So again, it's all in the preliminary stage. We certainly would like to entertain any questions or concerns. Just go to the parish bulletin, and send it to the parish web email. It'll go to Marty, our secretary. She'll pass it on to the committee. We'll make a response, okay? So that way, and we're in a dialogue now. We're exploring. As we get more information, you'll get it too. So thanks.